Your foot is an engineering marvel containing 26 fragile bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles. Now take those delicate parts and pit them against a 500-pound machine and asphalt that acts like industrial-grade sandpaper. Who wins? Unless you're protecting them properly, the asphalt wins every single time. The problem is, most riders treat footwear as a total afterthought or just another fashion statement. You'll see guys with $800 helmets and $500 jackets wearing canvas sneakers or worn-out work boots, completely ignoring the physics of a crash. Here's the truth. Not all boots are created equal. Some are built to prevent life-altering injuries, while others are practically designed to cause them. A simple low side at 30 miles per hour can turn a bad boot choice into a medical emergency that ends your riding career. We aren't just talking about road rash. We are talking about complex fractures that require titanium plates to fix. Today, we're ranking the 10 most dangerous footwear mistakes from painful to amputation risk. Let's start with mistake number 10, the high-top sneaker myth. This is easily the most common deception in the riding world. You look at a pair of high-top canvas shoes and you think, well, they cover my ankle bone, so I'm good. That is a dangerous illusion. Canvas shreds instantly upon contact with pavement. We're talking about zero point 0.5 seconds of abrasion resistance before the road is grinding your skin. But the abrasion isn't even the worst part. The real killer is the sole. Sneaker soles are made of soft, grippy rubber designed for basketball courts, not asphalt slides. When you hit the ground at speed, that rubber grips the road instantly. Your foot stops dead, but your body keeps moving at 40 miles per hour. Snap. Your ankle breaks because the shoe did its job too well. It gripped when it should have slid. Plus, soft soles offers zero crush protection if the bike lands on your foot. If you can fold your shoe in half with one hand, the bike will do exactly that to your foot in a crash. Mistake 9. The steel toe trap. This is where logic gets twisted. Riders assume that because a boot is safe for a construction site, it must be safe for the highway. That's a critical error. Steel toes are designed for one specific thing, compression from above, like dropping a cinder block on your foot. They are not designed for high-speed impacts or the crushing leverage of a motorcycle crash. In a severe accident, that steel cap can actually deform or detach. Instead of protecting your toes, the metal edge curls inward and acts like a guillotine, severing or crushing the digits it was meant to save. It sounds horrific because it is. Construction ratings like ANSI test for static compression. Motorcycle safety ratings, specifically CE, test for impact energy distribution and abrasion. You need a reinforced toe box made of thermoplastic or composite materials that will absorb the hit without turning into a weapon against your own foot. Leave the steel toes at the job site. They don't belong on a bike. Next is mistake number 8, the hiking boot fallacy. Hikers often think rugged and waterproof translates to crash-ready. It doesn't. Hiking boots are engineered for flexibility because you need to walk miles in comfort. But on a bike, flexibility is your enemy. If your boot allows your foot to flex naturally while walking, it also allows your foot to fold backward when trapped under a sliding bike. You need stiffness for crash survival, not flexibility for trail walking. Then there's the lace hazard. Hiking boots usually have long laces and open loops at the top. These are prime candidates for snagging on your shifter, foot pegs, or brake lever. We've seen riders tip over at stoplights because their laces caught on a peg and they couldn't put a foot down. And regarding ankle support, soft uppers might prevent a sprain on a trail, but they allow the ankle to roll completely over during a high-speed slide. Gear made for walking at 3 miles per hour is rarely safe for sliding at 60. Mistake 7, fashion leather costumes. At number 7, we have fashion leather costumes. You know the look, traditional black leather boots with harness rings, studs, or big clunky heels. They scream biker, but from a safety perspective, they're just costumes. The structural failure here is usually in the sole. These boots often lack a steel or composite shank, which is the backbone of a safe boot. Without that shank, the sole twists and folds under impact. Furthermore, the heel counters are often just soft leather that collapses immediately rather than holding your heel firmly in place. If your heel can pop out of the boot during a crash, the boot is useless. The soles are another major issue. They are frequently smooth leather or hard, cheap rubber that offers zero traction on oil patches or wet tarmac. You slip at a stoplight, the bike goes down, and that soft leather offers no crush protection. These are designed for the coffee shop, not the crash site. Mistake number 6 is the Shorty boot gap. This is a massive trend right now. Casual riding shoes that look like high tops, but stop exactly at the ankle bone. The problem is the gap. When you sit on a bike, your knees bend and your pants ride up. During a slide, friction pulls your pants up even further. This creates a zone of exposed skin between the top of the shoe and the bottom of your jeans. That gap leaves your shin and upper ankle completely exposed to grinding against the pavement or the bike itself. Beyond the abrasion risk, short boots lack the upper structure required to prevent the foot from twisting independently of the leg. You need leverage against the shin to stop the ankle from rotating too far. Without that upper support, your ankle is free to snap. You need a minimum overlap rule or dedicated shin protection to bridge that gap safely. If you can see your socks when you sit on the bike, you aren't protected. Now we arrive at mistake number 5, sizing negligence. This sounds basic, but it's actually one of the most subtle traps for new riders. You walk into a shop, try on a boot, and think, I'll buy this a size larger so I can wear thick wool socks in the winter. Or you just want them to feel as comfortable as your sneakers. That comfort is a trap. When you buy a boot that is too loose, you are essentially creating a secondary impact zone inside your gear. Here is the physics of why that matters. In a crash, your boot hits the ground and stops. If there is a gap between your foot and the boot interior, your foot keeps moving until it slams into the inside of the boot. That gap allows your foot to accelerate, turning the boot itself into a hammer that strikes your foot. Furthermore, there is the ejection risk. When you tumble down the highway, the centrifugal force generated by your spinning limbs is massive. A loose boot is often the first thing to fly off, leaving you sliding in your socks. On the flip side, buying boots that are too small cuts off circulation, causing numbness. If you can't feel the shift lever or the rear brake pedal because your toes are asleep, you are compromising control before the crash even happens. A proper motorcycle boot should feel like a firm, restrictive handshake, not a comfortable slipper. Mistake 4, the Velcro-only safety system. We see this constantly on budget touring boots, 3 big straps of hook and loop fastener and nothing else. While Velcro is convenient, it has a fatal flaw when it comes to high-speed trauma. It degrades. Every time you open and close it, those little hooks break down. Add in road dust, chain grease, and dirt, and the holding power drops significantly over time. But the real issue is the crash dynamics. High-speed slides are rarely smooth. They are violent and tumbling. If the edge of that Velcro strap catches on the pavement or a foot peg while you are tumbling, the peel force required to open it is surprisingly low. It rips open instantly. Once the closure fails, the boot clamshells open. We have seen crash aftermaths where the boot is lying 20 feet away from the rider because the Velcro simply gave up. You need a positive mechanical lock. Zippers, ratchets, or buckles must be the primary retention method. Velcro is fine for covering a zipper or adjusting the calf fit, but if it is the only thing holding that boot on your foot, you are trusting your safety to a strip of fuzzy tape that might not even stick to itself anymore. Mistake 3 is the traction oversight. We spend so much time talking about high-speed crashes that we forget where most bikes actually go down, at 0 miles per hour. You are at a stoplight, a gas station, or pulling into your driveway. You put a foot down and it slips. This is usually caused by 2 things: worn-out tread or cheap, hard plastic soles that feel like bowling shoes on asphalt. The enemy here is oil patches at intersections, painted crosswalk lines in the rain, and loose gravel. If your boot sole doesn't have adequate grip, your foot shoots out sideways. The result is that the 500-pound bike falls inward directly onto your ankle joint. This is how you get a crushed ankle without even moving. The injury mechanism is brutal because the weight of the bike traps the foot while the leg crumples under the load. You need to inspect your soles. If the rubber has hardened with age or the tread depth is gone, those boots are dangerous. You need a sole that offers tactical grip on the pavement, because keeping the bike upright at a stop is the first step in crash prevention. Mistake number 2 is the plague of fake CE armor. The online marketplace is flooded with boots that look technical. They have sliders, shin plates, and aggressive styling. But it's all a deception. Manufacturers of cheap gear will use inferior materials that mimic the look of protection without the function. That hard plastic shin guard? It's often hollow or brittle plastic that shatters on impact. Those toe sliders? They are frequently glued on rather than stitched or integrated into the chassis. The problem is that you can't tell from a picture, but you can tell with your hands. We call this the thumb test. If you can push the shin armor or ankle cup in with your thumb, the asphalt will absolutely destroy it. Real armor resists deformation. Furthermore, check the label. A CE mark on the box means nothing if the boot itself doesn't have the specific EN13634 label stitched inside. That label tells you the boot has actually passed tests for abrasion, impact cut, and transverse rigidity. If that specific code isn't there, you are likely wearing a boot made of cardboard and hope. Don't let the race look fool you. If the price seems too good to be true, your ankle is the payment. And finally, mistake number 1, the single most critical error, ignoring torsion control. Most riders worry about abrasion, sliding down the road. But abrasion rarely leads to amputation. Rotation does. The most catastrophic ankle injuries happen when the toe of the boot grips the pavement or gets trapped under the bike, but your body keeps tumbling. Your leg rotates, but your foot stays planted. The result is a spiral fracture of the tibia and fibula, or a complete dislocation of the ankle joint. This is why soft boots are deadly. You need a boot that is laterally stiff, meaning you cannot bend it side to side. High-end boots use mechanical hinges or stiff internal skeletons that allow your ankle to flex forward and backward for shifting, but lock out rigidly against side-to-side motion. This hardware physically prevents your ankle from snapping sideways. If you pick up your boot and you can twist the sole relative to the upper shaft like a dish rag, it offers zero torsion control. That anti-torsion system is the difference between a sprained ankle you ice for a week and a spiral fracture that takes 2 years and 3 surgeries to rehab. The 60-second fit and safety test. So how do you know if your current boots are traps? You don't need a crash test dummy. You just need your hands. Here is the 60-second fit and safety test you can do right now. First, the lateral crush. Take the ankle box area of your boot and squeeze it as hard as you can with both hands. If you can collapse the ankle area until the sides touch, it will offer no protection when a bike lands on it. It should remain rigid. Second, the wring out. Grab the toe in one hand and the heel in the other. Try to twist them in opposite directions like you are wringing out a wet towel. A safe boot will fight you. A dangerous boot will twist easily. Third, the heel lift. Put the boot on and secure all closures. Stand up and try to forcefully pull your foot out of the boot without undoing the zippers. If your heel lifts more than a quarter inch inside the boot, it's an ejection risk. Finally, the toe box check. Press down hard on the toe area with your thumb. It shouldn't deform. If your boots fail these tests, they are essentially just heavy socks, and you need to upgrade immediately. Your feet are your landing gear. Protect them accordingly. Remember, a shattered ankle takes 6 agonizing months to heal, while strapping on good boots takes just 6 seconds. Do not gamble with your mobility. Check your current gear against this list immediately. Drop a comment below on which fatal mistake you have made, and make sure to subscribe right now for more life-saving advice. Ride safe out there and always keep the rubber side down.